The album's called What Life of a Showgirl,
Hmm.
and she's dressed like a showgirl, and I've never found her like. Obviously, she's not an ugly person, but her trying to dress sexy, man, it does. Yeah, I
I
don't.
feel you. It doesn't
Ugh,
do
it's not.
anything for
It's
me.
insane. It's like
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
your
no.
sister dressed up.
You're listening to Passed Out, the podcast where history, mystery, the occult, and the cosmos collide. This week we're talking about the new Thrice album, Horizons West. We touch on the new Taylor Swift album and a few more releases. Stay curious, and welcome to Passed Out. Welcome to Passed Out. I'm Josh.
Mirage.
How you doing this week, man?
Been a rough week.
I feel
Very rough week.
that, yeah, we've got a car down right now, so it's been
Shit.
it's been a week, yeah. Laurel's salon flooded and the car broke down, so
Damn. Is it
yeah,
raining
dude.
there?
No, dude, there was like a broken main in the wedding venue that's next door.
Shit.
There's supposed to be a wedding there today, and like the place is flooded. So like the wedding venue was like scrambling to find these people another venue yesterday.
Damn.
Crazy, yeah, dude. Crazy week in Dallas.
Um. So yeah, it's been a crazy week for music. As far as it's weird that music releases on Friday now instead of Tuesday. When we were growing up, it was always on a Tuesday.
I think it was because of I think it was the way it was in stores, you know? If you notice how like they release movie releases now, like DVDs and like when you can buy movies on Prime, it's on Tuesdays still. So I think it just has to do with something with the just like the way that it was distributed when it was physical media Tuesdays. So but
I, but might have to do something with like I guess it would have to be Monday when they would release it to count the whole week, or
probably.
Tuesday through Monday, maybe. To like, I don't know. I'm coming up with bullshit.
So album releases this week. Big one for me, Thrice. Just again, Horizons West is I love it. Just first listen on Thursday night at like I listened at 11 p.m. as soon as I could. I like that things when they drop on midnight, you can listen at like 11 in my time zone. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I listened Thursday night at 11 p.m. and just kind of cruised through for that first listen in my headphones, and then I listened to it all day yesterday while I was driving around and running errands and going to work and shit. So it's really good. I loved it. The rest of the world seems to be talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
So um,
which
I
good for her. This is going to be a thrice episode.
Yeah. I
Cool,
do
cool.
I wish if more people knew about Thrice, I do feel like this could be like the Barbie Oppenheimer of music right now, but
Horizons Showgirl,
yep, Horizon Showgirl,
Showgirl Horizons, Taylor Thrift.
Taylor. That one's really good. Uh
Yeah, let's go through the uh the track listing. It starts out with Blackout, which Blackout really reminded me of AFI. I forget the title. It's something Latin, but it's the opening track of Sing the Sorrow with like a very prominent kind of drum drum line or whatever you will, and then the chanting, and it's just kind of meant to kind of pump you up. It's almost like a battle cry in a sense.
yeah.
Um, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. And then
I do too.
it goes perfectly into Nash. I know you weren't really into Nash as
Yeah,
much
I
as I
love Nash
was.
now. I just on like the whole it really grew on me. Like um yeah, Nash has really grown on me. It's like one of the songs that's like frequently stuck in my head. So
Now, uh, how would you describe the whole album? Like, uh, they take elements. I think they take elements of almost every album, but mostly from Visu and on. You don't really see
Yeah,
any artists of the Ambulance or anything prior to that.
mhm.
Maybe except for in Holding On for a second with the fast drum beat. There's some elements there that's like 90s Thrice or
Yeah.
but what did you think of like the whole kind of theme of the album?
I kind of feel like um I think just sonically it does kind of pull from all of their records and like kind of a lot of their different styles, and I think you're right. I think it does kind of go back to Visu, and I feel elements of like there's pieces of the Alchemy Index in here that I'm hearing. There's some of the songs kind of hit me in like major minor. I'm hearing stuff from Beggars. I'm hearing some of their, newer elements of like their last few records. Obviously it's a companion piece to Horizon East, so like there's a lot of things going on that are like mirroring each other, like the Color of the Sky, which is the first track on Horizons East. There's like a weird sample in the beginning, the "ba-do-do-do-do, ba-do-do-do-do," and Blackout starts out with that. It's just very faint. And like you're like, okay, so they kind of use this same thing to kind of build as the like introduction to two separate songs that start off two different albums that are like the same coin. Horizons East is really about, the sunrise, and Horizons West is really about the sunset. And I get very like theme wise, I'm getting very like you know what's beyond, and like very symbolic of like going west, and just like
There's a hope, even though there's a lot of
yes.
darkness. There's a lot of
Uh-huh.
hope in that darkness. And
Yes.
what track was it where he says something along the lines of, "What if darkness was the light?" You know what I'm talking about?
It
I think it
might
might have
it
been
could be Vesper Light, it also could be the Dark
I
Glow,
think it
I don't
was
know,
the
maybe.
Dark Glow. It was the
Which,
Dark Glow.
dude, the Dark Glow is probably one of my favorite fucking songs on the record. That's one of the songs that came out on Monday before the release, and man, that acoustic that just kinda drives the beginning of the song, and then the way the production just kinda starts building around it, and then it explodes, and then just like the ringing out of the last note of the chorus as they kind of fade right back into that acoustic. It feels like such classic Thrice.
Lyrically, the Dark Glow was their strongest one. Musically, I thought as far as the 4 singles released before the album released, I would say it's toss-up between Nash and I really like Holding On. I
I
love
really
the
like Holding On too. I really like the Stranger Things intro on Holding On. It's doing like that same kind of like Stranger Things arpeggiator.
that little yeah, the little
Yeah,
synth.
yeah.
There's a
So
lot of, electronic drums in the intros,
yeah, like
primarily
Undertow.
yeah.
Undertow has a lot of electronic drums. It really reminded me of some of the stuff from Visu, and it really reminded me of like the water portion of the Alchemy Index, which I think the Water album is probably one of my favorite Thrice albums. Just dude, it's just like such an interesting take, and I think that Dustin's voice always sounds really good to me. Like I love his vocals, and I think just he sounds really good on heavy stuff. He's got a good scream and he always sounds good, but man, when they pull the like heavy guitars back and there's just like there's really pretty like twinkling things and like crazy like his voice, just the way they stack it sounds so great in moments like that. So like there are a few moments on this record that like really pulled me back to like stuff they were doing on like Water and Air, where it was like very vocally driven and just like really pretty production around it, not a lot of heavy guitar.
So, the Dark Glow, this was the bridge I was talking about,
Okay.
"What if all we thought was darkness was instead the truest light? What if all we feared was empty was the fullness of our life?" So it just goes back to that optim optimistic going west kind of uh, manifest destiny, which I know is,
Yes.
is a controversial term these days, but um, I was surprised with the optimism of this album, even though there's a lot of talk about dark and um, as opposed to West. Really, I mean, I should have seen it coming because there was a lot of like angst in a way on West, and a lot of just being unsure. I got that feeling. I wish I had the lyrics on me for some of the songs on the West. But what do you think was the biggest difference, like as far as thematically going from West to East? Like what was a lyrical theme of West from what you remember?
You mean East?
Yeah, East. I'm sorry.
Okay. I love East, honestly. I'm wearing the East shirt right now. I do think it's a really good album. But yeah, it's about it really like this whole the whole cycle of like the two albums feels very cyclical, like the sunrise and sunset, and lyrically, like I think my favorite song on East is Color of the Sky. Like it that is a beautiful song, and they it's just like beautiful production, and he's really talking about like, you know, the color of the sunrise and the way like the sky changes from that like early morning into, you know, like when the sun is out. And I just he's it does feel very angsty though, like I feel that like it's
It,
it
it
is a very angsty record, you
it
know,
was
like
almost like what I got from it was a lot of existential dread from it.
yes. Yes, and maybe that's why these are companion pieces. It's just like, hey, here is the tension, and then we get to West, and it's like, here is the release of this tension,
Yes,
is kind
exactly.
of how I feel about the two. Like, I'm just like very, you know, very just like, oh my God, this is, we live in a very anxiety driven kind of world right now. And then he goes to the next record and he's like, but there is still hope. There is a light that still shines in this darkness. And I feel like Dustin has always been very thoughtful, and his lyrics are always full of symbolism, and he always takes his time. He reads a lot. He's
Hmm.
a very deep reader. He's also very religious. So if you like read into it, like he leans way more into like the heavy religious stuff on his solo records, but like it still seeps in on Thrice, dude. I still, you know, you run into people sometimes who still think Thrice is kind of a like a Christian rock band. Um but
You can kind of hear the influences on it, especially starting like I said, Visu and On is really when they found their true sound
mhm.
that remains to
That
today.
yeah, and
Um,
a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people, when they talk about Thrice, they love Artist in the Ambulance. I don't really hear a whole lot of people talking about The Illusion of Safety, and I don't hear a whole lot. I don't really hear anybody
man,
talking about Identity Crisis. So
I think those three albums actually are have to be their most popular though.
probably. And like dude, I've been listening, like I discovered Thrice when Identity Crisis came out. Like I was like skating to Identity Crisis. I love that album. So like I have been with Thrice since day one. Like I've been riding with them since their first album, and I've found something to appreciate in all of it. And, you know, like there is a shift off of artist into Visu, and Visu does kind of set the template, I think, for the rest of it. And as a in a whole, like I think Visu is probably my favorite Thrice record, just front to back. That album is so like perfect for me. You know,
It
it's
was
like
very
in my
controversial when it came out because of the sudden change and sound.
and for them, it's I think that was a as beloved as Artist in the Ambulance is, like that is a flawed record to them. Like
That's
they
their
don't
least
look at
favorite
it.
album, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they don't. yeah, they don't look at it the way that like fans look at it. And like to me, yeah, Artist is like almost a perfect album. Like it is so fucking good. But they felt rushed.
Yeah,
They
they had
felt like
7
those
days
were
to
not.
complete it? Something like that?
I think they had like 3 months to complete an album,
Okay, I'm
and I
thinking
I
South
think they
Park or
like to
something.
take their time. So, but yeah, they came off of Illusion of Safety was pretty popular, and then they ended up signing with Island, and Island was pushing for a major release very quickly. And I remember them talking about the production of Artist in the Ambulance and just like how much pressure there was, and like how they just don't really they don't feel like they left everything they could on the floor because they had to get it done. And
Island was a huge record label back when we were 14, 15 years
I
old.
know.
Everybody was it was
Dude, they're still pretty big. Like they just like but they just like the biggest artist I can think of who just signed a new contract with Island is Sabrina Carpenter. Just signed with Island.
no
Like
way.
yeah, dude, Island is still big. I think Island is owned by Universal now though. I might
They
be
were
wrong
Def
about
Jam
that, but
before, right? It was Island Def
probably
Jam?
yes, it was, but I think that all these subsidiary labels just keep getting bought out and passed around by the majors. So it's really just like Universal, Atlantic, and fucking Sony, and they just kind of pass the other ones around. So all these other labels are just subsidiaries of these big three.
Other than the title track from Artists and Ambulance, I don't ever really remember there being any radio play for Thrice.
I think Silhouette got radio play, dude. I think Silhouette, like I remember, I think they used to play Silhouette on like 107.5 when we were in high school. And I remember the Stare at the Sun music video used to play like all the fucking time on MTV.
Really? I didn't even
Like
know they had a music video for that.
yeah, dude, it's really cool. It's like they look so young when I would look at that video now, but it's like it's a really cool concept. Like the whole video is like takes place with them using like a copy machine, and like he's like copying his face, and like like the pages are like creating the music video. It's really fucking interesting. Are you looking it up?
No, 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 no. I was looking up because you brought up Stare at the Sun, and that has a really cool bass line on it.
The boop 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 boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool bass line.
Crooked Shadows.
Mhm.
It's not as a prominent bass line, but the bass intro sounds really good on that. That's another
Yeah,
one of
dude.
my top tracks from the album.
It is really good. Yeah.
That's
Dude,
where
it's
they
a good bass
incorporate
album.
they incorporate the gang vocals on that quite a bit,
Mhm.
and I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and that's the drums on that felt a little bit faster paced, and like the guitars are a little bit heavier, especially in the end. I was like, okay, this is really cool. So felt kind of like it kind of reminded me of like the heavier tracks on Visu.
Exactly. That's probably why I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
Why do you think Tepe has taken a back seat as far as leads go? Because he used to do some really interesting shit. I'm not saying it's not interesting now. It's more of a
It's just
matured sound.
yeah, they're like letting the vocals do a lot more. They're doing a lot more vocally. I also think that when you think about Tepe's role in the band, like he's not just the lead guitar player like he was when like Artist in the Ambulance came out.
Hmm.
Since Visu, he has been one of their main engineers. Like he engineers the records. So like they've built a studio in his house. They've recorded East and West in his house basically, and that's how they recorded a lot of that. They recorded the whole Alchemy Index in Tepe's house too. Like he produced the Alchemy Index. So, um, so that like every once in a while they get producers to do certain albums, and then every once and then some of the albums Tepe produces themselves. When they produce it themselves, it's like Tepe's like producing. They send off to mix engineers to mix and master, but like Tepe will kind of produce everything, and he engineers the whole record, records the other band members, works with Dustin in the studio. He's engineering. Also, Tepe, dude, he's a fucking he built the guitars that he played on this record. Like he's just one of those dude like, and he plays all the pianos, like any instrument that is typically not is kind of a weird instrument, it's probably Tepe playing it. Like, so he's just like he's doing so much more now than just playing lead guitar, and I think that's why the lead guitar is stripped down a little bit, because it's like, okay, he's playing piano, and the guys are very, they don't like to stack if it's not something that the four of them can play. They realized after the Alchemy Index tour that it was just like hard for them to do a lot of this live, and they didn't want to do that again. So like any song that there's piano on, Tepe's not playing guitar, like, or he's switching back and forth in a way
I
that he
see.
can do it live. So like if there's a piano part or a synth part, like he's probably playing that instead of playing guitar, and then Dustin's just really filling in the guitar, and the bass is doing a lot of fun. Dude, the bass and drums are doing some fucking work on the on West. But like dude, the Breckenridge guys are, just, I always talk about them as a really good rhythm section, dude. Like, Ed Breckenridge is such a good bass player, and Riley Breckenridge is such a good drummer. I really like Riley, dude. Like I've heard his, like, you hear his evolution of being like this fast paced punk drummer on the
Right.
early albums to being this like very well trained, just like, I will do whatever this song needs on the drums, even if it's electronic drums or if we're doing some kind of weird drums. Like I heard a lot of bells on this record, especially the closing track. There's a lot of weird instruments and like a lot of weird percussion. So they're leaning into some really interesting stuff.
There are some shoegaze elements in this album, more so than the previous, which a lot
Yeah.
of bands are doing. A lot of bands, there's a couple things bands that have been around for a while are doing on their new records. Uh,
Hmm.
One is kind of taking something from a lot of their other parts of their catalog and reusing it. With Thrice and like we talked about with Deftones, they
Deftones,
still
yeah.
come up with a way to come up with something new on top of it. But
Hmm.
both these albums have some shoegaze elements, which is becoming very popular in rock right now.
Yeah, I feel like Thrice has always had some shoegaze elements, especially with like pedal ambience, and like the way that they use reverb, and the way that they just use like swelling guitars, and just like I just, it's really creative. Like like I think it's really good to just use your board and like your tools at hand to try and make all those sounds that, like, a lot of producers just use build electronically now, but these guys are like doing it with pedals. And I think that adds to the shoegaziness of it, especially for when I think shoegaze, I think immediately like reverb pedals.
Any pedals. That's why I thought it was called shoegaze, is because you're looking at your pedal board
Yeah,
the whole
uh-huh,
time.
yeah,
Is that what it
yeah.
is?
I think so, dude. That's kind of
I'm
what I've always thought. I've just like
okay.
thought it was like more heavily like reverb delayed kind of stuff, but which those are the pedals that I typically lean towards. Like you look at my pedal board now, it's kind of dude, my pedal board's got two reverb pedals, two delay pedals, a reverse pedal, two chorus pedals, a distortion, overdrive, boost, compressor, and a whammy.
Whammy. As a Anchorman.
Whammy.
I like a
So,
lot of
I never use the Crybaby anymore, though. I think it's just, like, there because it's just, like, sentimental, like, "Oh, this was on my board when I was 16, and I just used to go, 'Wow, wow, wow.'"
I love. I
I
mean,
barely ever touch it anymore, but every once in a while, it's good for, like, an intro or something.
I'll buy it off of you eventually if you're not using it. I had a Kirk Hammett whammy, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Uh, don't have it anymore, unfortunately, but I've been thinking about getting that.
I'm gonna
Going
get a
back
new
to
one.
go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna get a new. I have the Crybaby now, but I'm gonna get a new whammy because I saw that Corey Wong, he released a new whammy pedal, but it's a basically three setting pedal that has the step, so that you can use it as a volume, an expression, or a whammy. So I think that's pretty cool. I like do pedals. I feel like pedals are having a bit of a renaissance the last few years. There's some pedal companies that have really like pushed the drive forward, and um, I love amp modelers, but I feel like I'm really starting to like appreciate my pedal board and my build, and just like I'm really wanting to like set up the mics in front of the amps again and just like try and like record guitar more old school so that it doesn't all sound the same. But
There's a lot of people who do custom pedals where they just mess with the wirings on the inside and come up
yeah,
with really cool sounds. And
yeah.
um,
Which I've got like my pedal companies that I'm like obsessed with right now. Like I love Earthquaker Devices and Walrus Audio. Walrus Audio is probably my favorite, dude. Like their pedals are so good. The chorus pedal and the delay pedal that I have from Walrus Audio. Also, one of my reverb pedals is a Walrus pedal, dude, and it's the one that the slow audio has a sustain button on it. So when you hit a fucking chord, you can hit the sustain and it just holds that ambience for a long time to kind of create those reverb swells.
even with vocals now, you hear a lot of reverb going on. A lot of reverb. I mean, Thrice really did start that with Visu. The first
Mhm.
track of Visu is what it
Yeah.
sounds like they're in a open church, but a
Mhm.
lot of rock have been using the. I guess that comes with the shoegaze territory because
Yeah.
you do hear a lot of these effects on vocals now.
Yes.
Even even some bass parts when the bass is being highlighted and reverbs become a big tool in rock, and I like it because it gives a nostalgic sound. I don't know. It sounds like
Yeah.
it's being recorded on an 8 millimeter tape or something. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it is.
Reverb used to come from the room when you were recording a lot of shit live, and it was just, and then they, started trying to, create how to like make things feel like they have space. So like there's a lot of creative reverbs out there now that kind of do a lot of stuff to try and recreate that stuff. Also, reverb's just like the best trick to get vocals to um sit in the mix.
Well, man. Uh, Anything else with Thrice that you wanted to highlight?
Um, I think the new record's great. I think we've covered a lot of it and touched base on a lot of it. Is there any other songs you wanted to kind of go into deeper from the new record, or
I mean, my top three would be Nash, Holding On, and I already forgot the name of the one with the bass intro that we were just talking about because my memory's
Crooked
Crooked
Shadows?
Shadows. Crooked Shadows, the only thing I don't like about Crooked Shadows is the title because anytime I type something into AI, like to get a story idea, it puts the goddamn word shadows in there.
I know.
And so this just sounds like an AI title. I'm not saying they used AI for it, but it's anytime I see the word shadows in any sort of title, it kind of puts me off. It's AI has ruined, or LLMs have ruined the word shadows for me for a long time.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not going to stop using the word shadows in our own music.
Well,
It's a theme that I take a lot of influence from Thrice, and I do like the light and dark um, contrast, and I feel like I do that a lot on our records. So, um, I think my favorite songs on this record are definitely, dude, Undertow, The Dark Glow, and probably Albatross, because I just can't, dude, I can't get the chorus Albatross out of my head. It's so good. But like, dude, I really like like leading into the end of the album. I think Distant Suns and Vesper Light are beautiful fucking songs. Just like really good stuff. There's some stuff in especially Distant Suns. Distant Suns kind of gives me like a Beggars kind of major minor vibe, which is super cool. I love. There's not a Thrice record I don't love. So um,
last
with
thing
that being said,
thematically, with East and West, and we kind of touched on it earlier, but I thought it was super interesting how with East and the themes of light and everything, he portrayed light as being able to see our divisiveness. And then once you go into the dark, when you go into the west, where the sun's setting or it's about to rise and it's still dark, there's it's that hope that connects us. And personally, if you would have told me before that two albums release, I would have thought it would have been the opposite, because typically light is where, where we're connected, and into the darkness where we're all separated. But it makes sense the way Dustin used the metaphors in both the albums that he did. I thought it was kind of clever, and it went against the grain for the most part of what you
Yeah.
would typically think.
I think it would have been different. I think West would have been a different record if they did it how they were originally planning. What they were originally planning is recording them back to back. Like they were going to come off of the East tour and go right into the West recording. But then they were like, we're kind of burnt out on writing new stuff. Let's take a break. And in that break, they ended up re-recording Artist in the Ambulance for the 20-year anniversary. And then they dropped, they put that out and and then that breathing room gave them a lot of time to really think about how the two records would companion. And I think they were able to really hone in their ideas and let them breathe. And I feel like it just made a much more cohesive project. And I think that altogether, the East and West Horizon project is a very good, well rounded two-part album.
I prefer West. Do
I
you?
prefer West too, but there are songs on East that I love, and as soon as my West vinyl comes, I'm gonna listen to them back to back just to kind of see how it all sounds on vinyl as like one full like 2 hour piece of music between East and West.
If you're gonna give it a 1 through a 10, what would you give East and what would you give West?
I'd give East probably a 6.5. And I think I'm feeling 8.5 or 9, probably a 9 on fucking West. It's honestly, it's like like front to back. This is a record for me, and it's been a long time since I've felt like I could just like I skip around a lot of records because there's like some songs I love and then songs that I don't, care for. Especially in the last few Thrice records, like there's a lot of songs on Palms that I love. There's a lot of songs on East that I love, but there's also a lot of songs that I'm like, I could do without this. And but yeah, I think it's a great. I think it's great. What do you think your favorite Thrice record is overall, and then what's your favorite Thrice song? It doesn't have to be from that record. Just kind of curious what your favorites are.
I'm gonna be, I guess, a little basic here. I would say Visu's my favorite, and then uh, Paper Tigers. You know me, I love angry sounding songs. I think I
Dude,
just
Paper
love
Tigers is
Paper
such a good
Tigers.
song.
Yeah.
I love Paper Tigers too. It's one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorites too. But I think my favorite Visu is definitely my favorite album, front to back, and my favorite song. Man, it's so hard for me to pick a favorite Thrice song. There's so
Yeah,
many
I'm sure
good
it
ones.
changes over time, just like how Metallica songs change for me.
Yeah, dude, it changes over time for me. But like ones that I always come back to are like there are songs on Visu that like I don't think I could live without. Um, I think probably Between the End and Where I Lie, and then The Earth Will Shake, and probably For Miles. Just the songs blow me away, man, on that record. But I could go through every Thrice record and pick a bunch of songs, and I'm like, these are my favorites.
Now, going back to the re-releases, there's been bands like In Flames re-released Clayman,
hmm
Incubus re-released
Morning View.
Morning View. I was about to say Morning Sun. Uh,
Very sun themes today.
but In Flames, that was a failed project. With Incubus, I personally liked it. A lot of people say that Brendan Brendan Boyd's vocals are he's not young anymore.
It's
But
not ever going to be the same. Dustin's vocals don't sound the same,
right,
as they
and
did.
so
Like
That's where I was going. Did you think the artist in the ambulance re-recording was a success?
I think so, yeah. I don't see why not. I don't think there's any issue with re-recording your music down the road, you know? Like, I think it's a cool concept to re-record a popular album, like, just, like, as a slightly different version, and the way that Thrice talked about it, I don't know how Incubus felt about it, which I'd be interesting to learn this, which I really did like the Incubus re-release of Morning View too. I thought extending some of the songs to just have,
Yes.
like, these trippier, more pedal-driven things, you know, like Mike Einziger, another great guitarist who is, like, a pedal genius. But like, yeah, I just think that some of the extended songs were really good, and like, I feel that way about Thrice. Like, dude, they added some, they have some featured vocalists that are just like driving home like different parts, like the end of Stare at the Sun with like the extra vocalist and like the way that the guitars are just kind of fading out is so beautiful. I wish that went on a little bit longer because it's a little short for me. I'm like, God, I could have listened to this for like a minute at the exit of this song. But the way that Dustin explained it is that those songs exist how they sounded when they recorded them, but those are popular songs and songs that they play a lot live. And what they wanted to do was record it in a way of kind of how the songs sound live now,
Hmm.
which I think is a good, like, I think that's great. Like, yeah, like these are 20 years old, your vocals are different, guitars are different. There's a lot of different things going on in how you make music nowadays. So yeah, I don't think there's any issue with re-recording. Is it necessary? Probably not. But like I hope one day we have a reason to revisit a popular album.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool. So
Be old as fuck doing it.
probably, but we didn't start as early as Thrice, so started in our mid 20s on the train that we're on now. I just had a lot of We had a lot of failed bands in between there that just never really panned out or ever really were able to release music. So
I want to talk about the new Megadeth song that came out. It was a
yeah, let's do it.
great Friday for music. They released a music video for their upcoming album. This will be the first single for Megadeth. I have a feeling this isn't going to be their last album, honestly. Dave Mustaine, knowing Dave Mustaine, there's going to be another one. They're going to go the whole Rolling Stones route where it's like 18 final goodbyes and tours. But they released Tipping Point, which the music video takes place mostly in a jail or prison, which I found interesting because our boy David Ellefson and his band just released a song about 2-3 months ago to where the music video takes place in a jail. So I don't. Part of me is like, is it a
Is Dave
shot at
Mustaine
him?
trolling?
I think so. I really do. And
That's fantastic.
the song being called a tipping point, is it just like talking to Dave Ellefson and being pissed off at him, saying like, "Oh, don't mess with me, don't mess with me, keep your mouth shut." But the song is so angry, and the guitars, there's this crunch to them. It's not overproduced. The drumming is phenomenal.
Who's
Uh,
drumming on it?
they switch their lineup so
Dude,
much.
I know it's hard to keep up with Megadeth because it really is just Dave Mustaine and like whoever featured musicians he's got with him right now.
Kiko isn't even in the band. He has some other Brazilian
Mhm.
guitarist. I'm looking it up right now. So it's Timu Metsiari on guitars. James Lorenzo, which he is from. I know that name, man. This is embarrassing. James Lorenzo. He was in he was in Black Label Society. He was in Slash's Snake Pit. So he's been like a session drummer for a while. He also was in Megadeth before from 2006 to 2010 on some of their, I would say, first albums. you could say. But he he's just absolutely crushing it on this. And Dave's voice sounds good. I really didn't like their previous album, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I love Dystopia, and this the production sounds better than both of them. It sounds like a felt like a modern twist on So Far, So Good, So What, which is one of their first 3, 4 albums. So I'm really excited for that. We'll see what comes along. But I just wanted to throw that in there because I'm so stoked. If this album or this single is a taste of what's to come for the album, we're in for a fucking treat.
Well, I'm excited.
Did you hear any of the new Taylor Swift stuff? Did you want to even
I
get into
have
that?
not listened to a piece of it yet. I was kind of down a Thrice hole yesterday and was like really preparing for this episode and like listened to a lot of their back catalog after I had felt like I'd really absorbed Horizon West yesterday. So, um, yeah, I haven't really dove into the Taylor Swift album, but it's unavoidable. Like it seems like it's already sparked a ton of drama on the internet. Like people are saying she's beefing with Charlie XCX, and people are saying she's throwing shade at all kinds of other people. And there's a song called Wood where people are like, she's talking about Travis Kelsey's dick. So
No,
yeah, so
I'm
fucking
good on that.
yeah, me too. But I just I've just seen Twitter kind of erupt into like this thing, and like every girl I know is like talking about this, except for my wife. She's not really a big Taylor Swift fan, but like all the other girls at the salon are. So
That's why she's a keeper.
yeah, she is. So
I don't know. The reputation Swifties have of just going after anybody who talks smack on Mother Taylor, Mother Swift. It's funny to see. I wish people backed me up like that, but it's so annoying, dude. It's so annoying. God forbid you have a different opinion about Taylor Swift. The
yeah.
only few songs I heard off of it, it seems like she is playing her acoustic a lot more.
hmm
Um,
Which I like when she's playing acoustic a lot more. Like the only I like when I think about Taylor Swift stuff that I like, most of the Taylor Swift songs I like is either produced by Max Martin, so it's just like the perfect Swedish pop to make you feel addicted to it, or my other favorite the only other two albums that I actually like by her were the ones where like Bon Iver and Jack Antonoff are heavily producing like this very like indie folk style for her. I think that's where her voice shines. I think that's kind of what blew her up, dude. Like her and the acoustic guitar just is what skyrocketed her to this place. She's just been she has been the most successful. I'm going to step to the left into the pop world from, this alt country vibe, and she did it more successfully than anybody else who's ever tried it.
yeah, that's true. But the only other thing I want to add with her is the album's called What Life of a Showgirl, and she's dressed like a showgirl, and I've never found her like obviously she's not an ugly person, but her trying to dress sexy, man, it does. Yeah, I
I
don't.
feel you. It doesn't
Ugh,
do
it's not.
anything for
It's
me.
same. It's like seeing your
Yeah.
sister dressed up and like it really is. I don't know why, dude. It's just nothing for me. There would be
It
no
doesn't do
song
anything for me
called Wood
either.
for me. It'd be called Chub.
Dry.
Placid. Just hanging.
Fish. We got good ones today. But yeah, the other thing that I had to say is like, I see all these people breaking down like her lyrics and shit, and I'm like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of like showgirl stuff. Like, if you're gonna do a showgirl album, where's like the Vegas? Where's Vegas? Like it, like so like I'll probably shuffle through it at some point and just kind of skim and see what it sounds like. But I'm curious if there's like a lot of Vegas stuff. You know, I feel like the Killers could do a Showgirl album much better.
Yeah, shit, we could.
Probably.
Yeah, don't
No.
don't don't. What's it called? Don't cultural appropriate our town. You know, we live there. We live the life. Don't talk about showgirls like you know what's up, honey. We're gonna yeah. If
Has she done a residency there yet or no?
she's too big, she'd be way too expensive, man. She would have to do residency at a fucking Allegiant
Bro, they've got like what's
for
Bruno Mars? How like Bruno
Bad
Mars is
Bad
there and
Bunny,
he's fucking massive.
but dude, she's on a league of her own.
Yeah.
The tickets would be so expensive. I mean, I know Metallica has talked about doing a residency at the Sphere. I could see her doing something like that.
That'd be fucking sick. I would go see Metallica at the Sphere. That'd be
Oh, that'd
awesome.
be on. Dude, I'd see Taylor Swift. I don't know. The fans would be way too annoying with the screaming. I wouldn't be able to do it. But
Yeah.
it would
You
be an
see
interesting show to see.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it's interesting that they're playing movies now at the Sphere. Like I like The Wizard of Oz, good idea, but like now it was so popular. Now they're talking about like licensing Star Wars to the Sphere, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming.
Have you seen those TVs where it's almost like a room? I think there is some showcase in China where a dude sits on a couch and it's it's VR, but you don't have to put any glasses on. It just completely surrounds
Whoa,
you.
interesting.
It's so cool. I can't wait till those come out, and it's pretty much a Sphere experience at your own home.
That's
And
crazy. I don't even know how I would set that up.
yeah, you'd have to have a perfect room.
Yeah, you gotta have like a room that's just for your TV. Just go in a circle around it. That's
It's not a complete circle around it, but
okay.
it's basically
It's
obviously
like
in
a
front of you and
curve,
two
but
to
it
your
comes out pretty
sides.
far. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
it,
like a
it
curve just comes
projects.
out further.
It
Interesting.
projects somehow, and it looks
Okay.
so insane. Yeah, I even the curved TVs though, those are insane. It's like those are like looking through the VR glasses without having to put them on, but it doesn't surround you like the technology I'm talking about.
Yeah,
In 10 years, entertainment at home is going to be insane,
probably.
insane.
Dude, it's already gotten so insane that like I think that home TVs being so good now and like all these lighting systems and like I think that's why and then like access to all this content, like I think that's why theaters are just kind of going downhill to have taken a big hit the last few years. Really started with the pandemic, but like and they've come back, but like movies are not making what they used to. Like
No,
billion-dollar movies are like $600 million movies now.
the only thing that movies need to realize is that you need to create a movie that would be fun to watch with other people reacting. That's why I think Minecraft did well.
Hmm.
There's got to be a whole cultural kind of thing to it.
Yeah.
But as far as indie films or really non-action or non-comedic films, it's hard to get people to sit in a theater.
I know. And dude, honestly, those and I love a lot of beautiful, slow, kind of drawn out indie